We're also joined on this broadcast by Lukas Ondercanin. I hope I've pronounced his name correctly. He's a foreign news reporter for the Slovak daily news SME. Lukas, thank you for speaking to India today. You represent a Slovak daily. You have a unique perspective as being one of the countries bordering Ukraine at this point of time. The first question I want to ask you, Lukas, is about the new reports of President Zelenskyy of Ukraine saying that he is not pressing any longer for a NATO membership. What do you think of that, Lukas?
Well, I think Zelenskyy realized that it would be too risky to take Ukraine into NATO right now. So it was his hope for a long time, but he has to be realistic about that. And now he has to get support in other ways, like military and maybe money and humanitarian help.
So do you think this is some kind of a peace move? Is it a climb down? Is it a compromise in your view?
Well, it's kind of compromise, but Ukraine knew that it would take years to get into NATO. So I'm not so surprised that they said that they are not applying right now. They are obviously trying to get into European Union, which is quite important for them. And that will also take some years. But I just see it as some kind of compromise. But they need to be realistic. And now they have to rely on other kind of help.
Do you think, Lukas, final question, do you think this will have an impact on the military mobilization by Russia in Ukraine? Will this slow things down? Will it calm things down? Because the joining of NATO, trying to join NATO has been one of the key issues that triggered this entire military operation.
Well, I don't think that it's as crucial as Russia is presenting that, because they knew that Ukraine will not get into NATO in a year. So I think that's just excuse for the attacks. And as my previous colleague said, she said that they are not attacking civilians. But I've been in Western Ukraine and I met many people who were escaping in front of the Russian attacks, and they were targeting also civilians. So I think the whole NATO thing is just excuse to take hold of the Ukraine.
Okay, it's just an excuse to take hold of Ukraine. So you're saying that, what happens with NATO is secondary. You're saying that this is, in effect, an invasion, Lukas. In fact, I'm just being told that you were in Ukraine last week, in Western Ukraine, and you actually managed to cross the border into Slovakia, Lukas.
Yes, I waited like 30 hours on the border because there are huge lines. Now the situation is even worse, and just to Slovakia, around 150,000 refugees came in the past weeks. So the influx of refugees is huge, and we think that the situation will get even worse. And right now, I don't really see any improvement in the whole invasion.
And there are going to be more refugees, I understand, because there have been hundreds of thousands, perhaps, who've been going across into Slovakia, into Hungary, as well as into Poland.
Yes, we are expecting that the numbers will rise, because for many people it takes a couple of days to get to the Western Ukraine, because the roads are destroyed, the trains are not working. So it's a long journey, and we expect that the numbers will rise in the next weeks as well.
Okay, Lukas Ondercanin, thank you very much. Stay safe. I hope you stay safe and don't have to go back in anytime soon. But thank you. Your perspective is very valuable to us. Thank you very much, Lukas. Good to see you and good to have your voice here on India Today. So, the perspective that you've got here on India Today is extremely interesting. There is a bit of disbelief, a little bit of incredulity about whether what President Zelenskyy has just said, saying no longer pushing for NATO membership, is going to be seen as a peace overture, as a compromise, a reality check, a sudden spasm of practicality that has come in after 2 weeks of this operation, and with nothing actually de-escalating just yet. We'll have to see where this actually goes. We're waiting for more reporters and more inputs on this story.